welcome back to God's Golden Acres. I'm Kim, as my contacts like mess up on me. And today I'm going to talk about deblooming plants and what you need to debloom and what you shouldn't debloom. So I think the biggest topic I see talked about is strawberries, which I have a 15-row field here of strawberries that I'm about to debloom. I guess this would be my first major debloom. I picked some while watering, but we're to the point where there's several, and I actually have to go down each row and look very carefully and find them all, because sometimes they hide right underneath a leaf. So it is very important. With strawberries, it's important to let them settle in for their first year, and it can increase your production the next year by about 30%. So that's a big deal. That's quite a bit. Granted, you might say, well, I get that 30% this year, and then that's like 100%. Not necessarily. You're more likely to have blossoms drop because of the heat. You don't necessarily get things in and get a full harvest, because look how young our strawberries are, and it's July 6th. So we definitely need to debloom, no matter what. Now, if you planted them really early and then, you didn't get a frost that killed your newly transplanted strawberry plants, you might have a different experience there and be able to let them sit, but there's a risk there too. I don't want to have to fight frost on my plants. Granted, I will, to plant them correctly, because it does give them the best start, but the frost will most likely take your blooms if it does not take your plants. So I will go through a couple rows a day, really, because we have several rows. I'm doing this all by hand. And I will come through and weed, which I should have brought my little weeding tool out, but I did not for this video. And then I will pick blossoms. So this is an obvious blossom. Granted, I'm losing the petals there. But then all of these are little blossoms. And if you notice those, you can go ahead and take those too, but you don't want to take too much. You want to make sure you leave the leaves and not take this whole branch, because the leaves still help support it. Just take the blossom so it can't create a strawberry and move on. And then this plant will put off runners. And this plant doesn't have any. Yep, this plant has one right here. So take that, and then there's a few more leaves that'll come out here and create either runners or blossoms. And another good example is this little guy. This guy is so small. New beds or new fields. We didn't prep this. We got told by our neighbors, hey, if you have strawberries, I'll totally send people your way. We don't like dealing with strawberries, because the Amish neighbors. And I was like, all right, let's go get some strawberries. So we didn't prep this field correctly. I'll do a field prep video in the fall. But yeah, go through all of these. And we'll have these at least 4 years for a field before you replant. Sometimes you can push it a little bit more. With the economy, sometimes it's good to push it. See, and I've missed this one. We were gone for 4th of July, and it's starting to try. And that's a really young plant. It does not need to be trying yet. Oh, this one here, you can see how heavy this one is. So this one's surely developing. Yep. And these are all just very young plants, and they don't need to yet. Or this one. It has more blossoms than leaves, and it's trying to make some strawberries. And it's like, dude, you are not ready. It's like talking to the 13-year-old who wants to drive on the road. No, you're not ready. You can drive in the field, but you can't drive on the road, right? So this row have the most. It's the row that got planted first, and I went through several days. So let's go get her done. I do just leave the little berries and flowers right next to the plant I just pulled it off of. It's not gonna be a issue, right? We've missed fungus time. We don't have to pull it out for that reason. It's fine. Oh, I got this whole row done. I didn't weed it the best because I didn't bring out my little taproot tool. It has a name, but I can't think of it right now. And this row, which was the first row we did, had almost all but 3 had blossoms on them, I'd say. So we went through and I cleaned them out good. I'll go back through the other one and then we'll go talk about deblossoming other plants. Because like perennials is kind of a no-brainer. Like, yeah, you want them to develop roots and get lots of leaves and be really like in the ground. But sometimes there are other times when deblossoming is a good idea. Here by my tomatoes, and I didn't pluck any blossoms this year, and I'm really glad I didn't because it got so hot that actually the upper blossoms have been falling. But I went and grabbed zucchini while I was out here too. I have vine borers that I think I'm going to lose some plants to, and pick them early, right? I am going to fall over in this little hill. I have some very low set fruit. So it's right here, right next to the ground. Not ideal. I am going to leave them and not pick them early. And I need to come back and prune. I'm a lazy pruner. But those fruit are about the only ones I have so far because of how hot it's been. That is a Sheboygan paste tomato. Got some Abe Lincolns. And then some purples, brandywines, and yellow brandywines. And all of my yellow brandywines have dropped their blossoms, so I have no fruit on them. And if I would have picked blossoms, my others probably would be fruitless also. And you can see it's been so hot that they are still like shriveling up. I just don't think, I don't think I'm gonna get anything this round of blossoms. I'm gonna have to come through and prune again because they're getting yellow leaves on the bottom. Your annuals. There's a lot of times you want to pick those bottom blossoms. It is definitely a risk if you're gonna end up with a hot summer. Because like I said, my whole yellow, which I bought to try because it has less acid and is sweeter. So I thought that might be like a sandwich tomato we would like. I'm not even sure we'll get any this year. Andrew made the comment like, you have extra of those seeds for next year, so it's okay. I don't. I'd have to buy more. I planted all my tomato seeds. Put them all in one basket, basically. But it was a risk I took, and so far it is not panning out. This brandywine has the most tomatoes on it, I think. And a little girl took a bite out of a couple green ones. And so any annual you can treat like the tomatoes. The tomatoes are just an easy to show because they are up on the trellis. So zucchini, if you haven't transplanted yet and it's making a blossom, you can definitely then pick those blossoms. Some people will deblossom other things. And right now, honestly, I'm getting so hot. It is so humid when I'm like losing my train of thought, which is kind of ridiculous, but it is what it is. So thanks for being with us today. Go take care of your perennials. Make sure you are getting them set up that they give you a great yield next year. Hit that like button if you like what we're doing here. Hit that subscribe button if you want to follow along. And share this video with someone who just planted strawberries or another annual like raspberries. Ours died. So I can't show you those. Or perennial. Raspberries aren't annuals, they are perennials. My mind is going. Ah. Alright, I will finish harvesting this morning, get inside, and apparently get some water and cool down. Because it is unseasonably warm, and I have a farmer's market to get ready for. For being with us, God bless.